North County property owner pleads guilty to crack house indictment, feds for sale and forfeiture of multi-acre compound. And it is a compound. It's a huge lot. It's a corner lot with a uh, easy access to this actual neighborhood, and it has a pretty big size elementary school across the street. And this property, as you can see in the pictures, it is a corner property. It can actually be sold to a developer to put multiple houses on these actual properties, but it was actually forfeited. And you know what? Um, his lawyers, uh, the federal government just took advantage of this actual estate. And I understand this individual allowed crime to be conducted out of his property. But yet again, I can imagine that his actual family, his generations that follow him, will suffer tremendously because of this actual forfeiture. This individual, Sean, 73, the owner of a large residential compound located on Poinsettia in Vista, California, pled guilty in federal court to admitting that he maintained the property as a drug involved premises. Why would you openly admit to this without consulting your lawyer? Your lawyer will not allow you to do that. You're going to go to jail anyways. You're going to get stuff seized. Why make it easier for them? And there's actually a statute that with the violation of federal violation of the crack house statute. As part of the agreement, Sean admitted that he knowingly and intentionally rented, leased, profited from the property, and made it available for use to certain residents and guests. Sean admitted that he knew or reasonably should have known that many other residents and guests use the property for the purpose of unlawful storing, distribution, and using federal controlled substances, including heroin and methamphetamine. Sean also admitted that in many instances, his residents and guests' primary reason for renting, residing at, or visiting the property were so they can store, distribute, and use controlled substances without interference. He admitted that this activity was pervasive on the property. As part of the agreement and related documents, Sean's property will be sold and the proceeds from that sale will be forfeited to the federal government. Multi-million dollar. The fine for this is only $500,000. So they're going to take way above this actual uh, fine for their for to profit from it. And so they're pretty much he's gonna any kind of sentence he gets is gonna get life in prison just because of his age, right? But I just don't see that how that it can actually take precedent with the fine only being $500,000, but yet this property is going to sell for millions. It's a corner property. It actually faces the actual elementary. So, and according to the search warrant unsealed, the indictment revealed that between January 2017 and February 2020, law enforcement activity at the property was extensive, including dozens of separate calls for service, arrests, citations, and seizures of controlled substances directly tied to the property. And I'm going to put it out there. I believe that it was purposely, uh, there was purposely actually, uh, they allowed it to continue for that long of a duration for the purpose of actually taking the entire acreage from this actual family. Because apparently there was multiple calls there. So that means that they could have put a stop to this. They could have put this actual individual in jail for a couple of low end felonies, but they allowed it to get bigger into a bigger case for the purpose of confiscating this actual compound. And and then they threw in there that of course they're trying to make the neighborhood safer and everything. Well, why didn't you stop it right when you found out about it? They didn't wait almost 3 years to conduct this actual illegal operation. If you're that concerned about the neighborhood, you know. And then this one here, I'm just gonna bring up just so to get some numbers out there. Apparently, a Mexican drug trafficker was sentenced to 15 years in federal prison. This 49-year-old, he um he was living in the U.S. unlawfully, pled guilty for possession with intent to distribute methamphetamine. According to the paperwork, he admitted that on October 2020, he delivered 10 kilograms of methamphetamine. That's over 20 pounds of meth uh, in a moving box, cardboard box. And apparently, he was delivering it to an undercover or a confidential informant, and he was actually arrested before he was able to collect the $65,000 for the 10 kilograms of actual methamphetamine. A lot of dope. A lot of dope. Okay, guys, don't forget to like and subscribe.